Under orders at air, and they're off air at 2:32. Running air at 2:32. We can go straight to air to pick up the commentary.
Inside rail, Cirque is an early leader. They're in the blinkers on the inside rail with Farah Minot on the outside of this one. And with Positively Great and Noble Luster, these four take them along in the early stages from Far Darrow, who races back in 5. Well, they're well strung out already as they go quite a good pace through the first couple of furlongs, with Noble Luster, who's taking them along from Cirque on the inside rail in second place, with on the outside this and Farah Minot. Then Positively Great, and after this one on the inside rail, Far Darrow. Then tracking this one, or just in company this one, is Bayford Energy. There's the leading 5 as they race through the first couple of furlongs and continue along the far side, with Noble Luster open up an advantage now of a couple of lengths. From Cirque racing on the inside of Farah Minot, Positively Great up on the outside this one, these three virtually disputing it in second place. There's a gap back after that to back in 5th now. Bill Head's moved up into 5 with Far Darrow. Further Flight is also in close contention in about mid-division, and after this one comes Native Scott, who's beginning to make a move from the rear of the field. They're starting the turn back towards home, just about past the halfway point in this Orange handicap, and it's Noble Luster still with the call from Positively Great, who moves into second place on the outside, just on the tail of the leader. Right on the inside, Farah Minot and Cirque, and Bill Hedge is getting very much closer. So is Further Flight and Native Scott, who's been switched right into the centre of the course. Racing down inside the final 3 furlongs, and they're spread right across the course, with on the inside rails Cirque, Farah Minot, and then Bill Had over towards the stand rails. Further Flight is still making good progress in behind the leaders. Down towards the quarter mile, it's Bill Head who comes through to take it up from Cirque on the inside rail. Further Flight is now the challenger, becoming between these two, and they're clear now of Noble Luster, and after this one, Windsor Park, who's making a lot of late progress right in the centre of the track. Down towards the furlong marker, and it's Further Flight who comes through to take it up now and goes on by a length and a half. From in second place, Bill Head with Cirque fighting back. Windsor Park is absolutely flying in the closing stages. Racing down inside the final half furlong, and it's Further Flight going to hold on. Further Flight from Windsor Park, then Cirque moves back into 3 from Bill Head 4.
And the result from air is first, number 6, Further Flight.
They race towards the end of the back straight, and Rapporteur out in front. Rapporteur and Billy Newnes making the running, just about a length clear from Musafiri, and Further Flight still well there. Then Mystic Monkey hanging on the outside. Mailman makes ground. Disc Makers moving up rapidly on the outside. Just in behind these, Rush Lewin and Luaga as they race towards the final half mile. Further Flight's just tucked in behind the leaders, and it's Rapporteur making it, with Disc Maker and Musafiri the closest challengers. Further Flight just behind on the rails. Then behind these, Mailman, Rush Lewin starting to come out of the pack as they race into the straight with 3 to run. Rapporteur as Musafiri comes under pressure. Then Further Flight, Disc Maker just in behind these, Rush Lewin and Mailman as they race towards the final quarter, and it's Rapporteur from the white-faced grey. Further Flight just about second. Musafiri's hanging on really well. My Task is made a lot of ground. Rush Lewin just in behind them, doesn't look like winning this, and Charcoal Burners really eating up the ground, but Further Flight and Pat Edry are coming to challenge Rapporteur on the rails. My Task is third, then Rush Lewin, and into the closing stages, and here comes Pat Edry yet again. A hat trick for him as Further Flight gets there from Rapporteur, My Tasky and Rush Lewin.
Result at Baths, to win for 3, Further Flight. Second, number 2, Rapporteur. Third, number 1, My Tasky. It's the Bath result. First, number 3, Further Flight.
Nearing the end of the back straight, just over 3/4 of a mile from home, and still Jolie Jester, who's made all the running so far by a length and a half from Run High. Then comes Ambuscade, who's been third throughout. Drumhead getting closer. Hot Star, the one moving up. Then behind these, Further Flight starting a forward move on the outside of Rossgill and Isle of Arran. And about 3 lengths behind the others, Creator. Round the final turn, just over half a mile from home, Jolie Jester. The others now closing in behind. Run High. Drumhead gets closer. Ambuscade holding his position on the rails, with Hot Star moving up. Then comes Further Flight going nicely on the outside of Rossgill, and this group clear of Creator towards the rear. Isle of Arran's being pushed along. Inside the final 3, and Run High's come through to take it up now from Ambuscade. But coming strongly on the outside, Further Flight is absolutely hacking for Michael Hills as they go inside the final quarter mile. And it's Michael Hills now going on Further Flight. It looks all over. Further Flight's gone 2 or 3 clear. Run High can find no more. Drumhead's been hard at work for a long time under Willie Carson. Then a gap to Roskill and Ambuscade. But look at this, Further Flight, the further they go, the further he wins. This is Barry Hills' 50th training success of the season. Michael Hills comes home, an impressive winner on Further Flight. Drumhead, Run High and Roskill are next.
The result then from Ayr is a win for number 2, Further Flight. The second horse was number 1, Drumhead, and the third at Ayr was number 6, Run High.
It's a mile and 3/4, and coming through the first furlong, it's Roll a Dollar and Train Glot is taking a keen hold wide. Cambo is up for the pace, Horn Dance well there, Barish well placed. So too on the wide outside of the pack is Linpack West. Looking for is Local Derby off the record, and behind off the record is Star Lord, then Nasheed followed by Further Flight, and further behind that one races First Victory, and then behind these comes Hot Rumour, and one of the back markers is Holy Zeal. Up front it's Train Glot in the lead as they pass the 9. Train Glot by a length and a half to Cambo in second, Nafzal in green racing third, White Cap, Horn Dance 4, red colours Impact West 5, red cap is Lawrence Courage in 6, and then comes Barish with a white sleeve 7, Nasheed is 8, a length and a half behind these, Local Derby 9, Star Lord just being niggled along, and these are followed by Discord, and then behind these comes Nasheed. Further Flight's getting a great run through on the inside as they head towards halfway, and they race down to the point 3/4 of a mile from home, and the streamlined Alan Munro, Train Glot in the red jacket leading from Patedary on Cambo in second place, then Nafzawa moving up on the inside, the top weight Horn Dance is close in 4, then comes Impact West 5 and Lawrence Courage 6. Roll a Dollar starts to make ground, Star Lord in the orange colours makes ground wide, that'll be on the left, there he is, or he's still there with 4.5 to go. From the front, Train Glot, oh so brave this one, and they race down to the 4 furlong, they're homeward bound now, and it's Train Glot in the lead from Cambo, with up on the outside trying to come with a 1 Barish, and just in behind these comes Roll a Dollar, and these are followed by Nafzawa, and then behind that one is Lawrence Courage, and also trying to make good ground is a Grey First Victory. At this stage doesn't look as if Local Derby will be winning, but they race down to the 2 furlong marker, and here the Grey First Victory together with Further Flight, who's opened up, come to take Train Glot, and they're inside the final quarter mile, and it's First Victory, and on the right Further Flight, these 2 clear of Train Glot, then Roll a Dollar, and from absolutely nowhere Holy Zeal comes with the run. Bean King's on the wide outside, gets his first ball now, but it's Further Flight who goes further ahead as they come inside the final furlong, and Further Flight, Holy Zeal, First Victory and Bean King, it's between these, and Further Flight gets there. Further Flight beats Bean King, Holy Zeal, then First Victory and Train Glot, a gap of 4 to Barish, and then came Local Derby, and behind these Penny Forum and Roll a Dollar and Horn Dance and Opera Ghost and Nafzawa, and then Discord, and then behind that one raced Nasheed, and behind Nasheed was Stoneflake, and behind Stoneflake was a good old Folk Dance who never really got into the race at all. Star Lord finished last, and so too right out the back was Off the Record, a disappointing run. Also out the back Impact West, and eventually Hot Rumour and Cambo were also well and truly beaten. But the result of this tote Ebor, it's a win for number 16, which is Further Flight in the colours of Mr. S. Winfield Digby, trained at Marlborough by Barry Hills and ridden by Son Michael. Second is number 5, that's Bean King. Steve Cawthon brought that Grey with a strong run late, so Greys have finished first and second. Third horse home was number 12, Holy Zeal. That was fancied each way for a very long time for this race. At the halfway stage, it had no chance whatsoever. It was third, staying on very well. I think we'll find that the 4th horse home was yet another Grey First Victory.
And we join them coming round the final bend with hopes at Malton for Jimmy Fitzgerald, and Train Glot still high because Alan Munro hasn't really asked him for an effort yet. He's in front of the Aga Khan Zafzawa and Cambo, whom John liked so much in the paddock. Train Glot still there, Zafzawa beginning to fade, and now you can in fact see the winner for the first time, the grey head of Further Flight with the black sleeves coming through, coming past Horn Dance, who's run well yet again. And at this moment, First Victory, another grey, flatters on the outside, and Holy Zeal, who's been fancied for such a long time, flatters even further out. But neither of them can get to Further Flight. He's proved his stamina there, and now he's proved it again.
Yeah, this was no race for the faint-hearted. Train's got to take them along at a tremendous pace. And to be fair to him, he stayed on right in the closing stages. He didn't tie up at all. If anything, you'd say probably wants further, or maybe could have done with a pacemaker. I don't know whether he'd have gone much faster. But he didn't fade in the closing stages. There, Michael Hills posing for a picture, and it's Sod's Law that since they've disbanded the contract that he had with his father, he hasn't stopped riding in winners. Really good to see.
And Further Flight at 7-1, joint favourite of 2, has landed a major anti-post gamble. It has been favourite for the last 4 or 5 days. 6-1 chance was best in the offices this morning. It did touch 9-1 here on the track. Return 7-1, joint favourite of 2. Ladbrokes, the Magic Sign, were backing it late. The second, Bean King, went off at 20-1. The third, Holy Zeal, was a 10-1 chance. And the fourth, First Victory, also sent off at 10-1. And that Further Flight, the 12th favourite in 69 runnings of the Ebor since the First World War to win it, but the first to win it since Sir Montague, landed that huge gamble for Ryan Price by 8 lengths 14 years ago. Other favourites in the 7th is Bon Noel, Knotty Pine and Tintagel. This has been a real punter's result, this Further Flight. The whole country have known about it for several days. It was surprising how weak it was on the course, but it did close back in 7-1 joint favourite, snapped the losing run of favourites, and the distance it wins by 1.5 lengths and 3/4 of a length. That very popular Further Flight.
It was a real test of stamina. Rainglot really took them along, and Further Flight, who'd won over 2 miles, the Tennant Trophy Air, well, it just suited him ideally. There he is, triumphant, a stayer from Manton, trained in the old manner by Barry Hills, and here's the starting price.
First, number 16, Further Flight, 7-1 joint favourite. Second, number 5, Bean King, 20-1. Third, number 12, Holy Zeal, at 10-1. And fourth, number 11, First Victory, again at 10-1. Number 6, Star Lord, the other joint favourite. The two paid 11.80 the win. The place is 270, 380, £3 exactly, and 340. The dual forecast, £183.70 and 22 runs.
So they come to the first quarter mile, and Early, Skial and Safa taking a very keen hold. And Safa striding on from Early, Skial, Spodes Blue and Kea third and fourth. And then Further Flight, the rail, led at Balmoral with on the outside Fanatical and then Royal Borough. And the pace fairly strong, but Safa setting it, I should imagine, on sufferance. And Willie Carson was looking for a lead, hasn't got one, and he's still fighting Safa, the leader. Early, Skial in second place, and then Spodes Blue, the rail, Kea on the outside. And then Further Flight, followed by Leda Balmoral, who races mid-division. A couple of lengths to Fanatical, and then Royal Borough, followed by Johol. And the back marker is Vague Dancer as they come down past the mile pole. And it's Safa stretching clear by 3 to 4 now. Eddie Skiar second, Kea in third, followed by Spodes Blue 4 and Further Flight in 5th place. A gap of a couple of lengths then to Leda Balmoral and Fanatical, followed by Royal Borough and Vague Dancer and Johol, and they've passed the 7, or at least the leaders have. Safa clear by 3, Early, Skial in second, and then Kea showing third as they come down to halfway in this Yorkshire TV handicap, with showing fourth Spodes Blue, and then behind these Further Flight, a length and a half back to Leda Balmoral, and then Johol and Fanatical, followed by Royal Borough. And Vague Dancer is still the back marker, not in the picture at the moment, as they pass the 5. There's Vague Dancer trailing the tails as they start to turn in, and it's Safa leading. Safa by about a length to Early, Skial in second place, and then Kea on the outside third. Spodes Blue 4, Fanatical the rail 5. The grey Further Flight may need further. Johol in the red cap just starting to get a bit closer. Still the favourites last. and they've only got 3.5 to go, and it's Safa leading with Early Skial. Now the favourites in last place with a yellow cap, starting to get a bit closer, 2.5 to go. Safa yet to be headed. Now the favourites past 1. That one is Royal Borough last now, past the 2, and it's Kea that goes on. Further flight, the grey on the outside. Back in third, Spode's Blue Squeeze, pulled to the wide. Running the rail, Safa keeping on gamely, having pulled hard early, but inside the final furlong. And it's further flight, the further they go, the further he goes clear. Spode's Blue's chasing him now, and it's further flight in the lead. Spode's Blue's getting closer as the line arrives, but further flight takes it at the post. Further flight, Spode's Blue, Kea Early Skial, photo 3-4, and then Safa and Vague Dancer led a Balmoral Royal Borough. Jahal and last of all was Fanatical. The result then of this Yorkshire Television Stakes. The trip was 1.5 miles, and this 9-to-1 shot, the top weight Further Flight has won in the colours of Mr. S. Winfield Digby, led by him out of that grand race mare Flying Nelly. Sure you remember her from the dim and distant past. Barry Hills is the trainer, Son Michael is the jockey. 9-to-1 the odds of reward, and the top weight goes in.
Further Flight 9-2, joint third favourite, the Silver Rainbow, 11-1 Bardo's fourth. Last one to go in, I think, is Shambo. Mount of Michael Roberts are going to stall 2. Let's go and join Peter.
Yes, winners of 38 races, all installed for the 2-mile Dickens & Jones Goodwood Cup, and they're running. Play games right up there from the outset. Play games going on from Shahi and Silver Rainbow. Then comes Shambo. Then Criminal Law and Mountain Kingdom. They're being followed by Great Marquis and First Victory, and Secret Waters, the only filly. Further Flight is the back marker, and Play Games is making it from Silver Rainbow. The two representatives of Mr. Abdallah. 1-2 from Shahi in third place. Criminal Law and Shambo come next, followed by Mountain Kingdom. Then Great Marquis and Secret Waters, and behind them First Victory and Further Flight. And they're certainly not hanging about. They're swinging right-handed shortly, with Play Games the leader from Silver Rainbow and Shahi, and Criminal Law in 4-5 is Shambo. Then comes Mountain Kingdom, the 7-year-old and veteran of the race, and behind him Secret Waters. Great Marquis, First Victory, Further Flight the back marker. And Play Games still making this a very fast pace indeed, from Silver Rainbow and Shahi. Then comes Criminal Law, then Shambo. Behind Shambo still is Mountain Kingdom, then First Victory, a Great Marquis, Further Flight, and Secret Waters. An uphill rise, and still Play Games from Silver Rainbow and Shahi. Middle gap then to Criminal Law. Then comes Shambo as they run up this hill. Still Play Games from Silver Rainbow, Shahi, Criminal Law, Shambo and First Victory and Great Marquis. Inside the final 6 furlongs now, and still Play Games from Silver Rainbow, Shahi in third, 4 Criminal Law, 5 and 6 are Mountain Kingdom, who's made good ground on the outside. Then Shambo and Great Marquis is making a bit of ground now. Further Flight, Secret Waters has dropped back to last, running down hill now towards the home turn, and as they do so, it's still Play Games the leader. Play Games from Silver Rainbow, Shahi with his white face showing towards the right of the picture. Criminal Law comes next. Mountain Kingdom's not out of it. First Victory is getting closer to them all the time. And as they come down towards the 3 furlong pole in the Dickens & Jones Goodwood Cup, Shahi on the right of the picture, on the far side, Silver Rainbow. These 2 3-year-olds being chased by Great Marquis, who's improving. Then comes Criminal Law and Mountain Kingdom, but these 2 3-year-olds hit the 2 furlong pole in unison, but they're both under pressure, and Great Marquis is coming now to take them. And here comes Further Flight as well. The 3-year-olds are done with. Great Marquis comes there with Further Flight on the far side, racing into the closing stages, and Further Flight has taken it up now. It's Further Flight from on the near side. Great Marquis, Shambo's putting in a good run. Further Flight has got it sewn up though at the line. Further Flight is the winner. It's a photo for second between Shambo and Great Marquis, with between them Silver Rainbow, and Shahi in fact dropped White back to one from last, with the early pacemaker Play Games actually last. So another tremendous performance by Further Flight. The winner, number 6, Further Flight, owned by Mr. Simon Wingfield Digby, trained by Barry Hills and ridden by Michael
Down
Hills.
past the 4 furlong marker, and Haytham still has the advantage from Train Gliders now being produced upsize by Walter Swinburne to go ahead as they approach the 3 marker, and Train Glot just goes ahead here from Supreme Choice. Micheletti's coming with a very smooth run. Haytham begins to fade away, then comes Shambo and Further Flight. They've just over 2 furlongs left, and Micheletti in the white cap in the centre of the front 3's now burst through to take it up, but pressed by Supreme Choice down the stand side. A short-lived effort by Train Glot's now back in 3rd, and Further Flight's now making good headway to make a line of 3 as they run down towards the furlong and a half point, and its head at Supreme Choice now goes on from Further Flight on the stand side, but Michelecki can produce no more in 3rd inside the furlong, and Further Flight's another leader here. This one goes on from Supreme Choice, then comes Micheletti and Shambo. They've drawn right away, these 4, and racing for the line, and Further Flight's got a length and a half lead from Supreme Choice. That's how they're going to finish. Further Flight beats Supreme Choice. Shambo is 3rd, Micheletti 4th.
In 3rd, Felia Ardros next, then comes Micheletti and Red Bishop as they round the home turn into the straight, and Opera House is the leader from Red Rainbow. Then comes Sesame, then Felia Ardros, Ratify improving over on the far rail. Further Flight trying to get in the argument, coming down to the half-mile pole, and Opera House the leader. Opera House from Sesame, who's travelling well too. Then Micheletti, then Red Bishop getting reminders on the outside. Red Rainbow holding his place about 4th now as they pass the 3 furlong pole, and Opera House is the leader from Micheletti, and Red Bishop improving from the rear now is Always Friendly. Also Felia Ardros making ground over on the far side as they pass the 2 furlong pole, and it's Opera House from Felia Ardros. Further Flight trying to get into it too, coming down to the furlong pole now. Opera House from Felia Ardros. Further Flight is finishing strongly towards the near side. Felia Ardros, Opera House, Further Flight on the near side. Always Friendly still trying to get on terms, and it's Felia Ardros on the far side. Further Flight on the near side. Further Flight and Felia Ardros as they come to the line. Further Flight and Felia Ardros are at the line. Further Flight's just won it from Felia Ardros. Always Friendly and Opera House. It's a photograph officially at the end of the St. Simon Stakes.
Flight drops right towards the rear of the field early. Landowner also is restrained heavily on the inside and dropping back through the field. Sylvanesian began fairly well. Lafcadio with the yellow blinkers just dropping in behind them in the early stages, and Tyrone Bridge the outside as they go through the 1st furlong and a half. And on the inside it's Sylvanesian from Tyrone Bridge. They're matching strides now as they sort themselves out, a couple of lengths to Lafcadio, who settles on the inside there. They've kicked away now from Red Stella. Further Flight and Landowner whips them in as they head down the side of the course. Sylvanesian, though, on the inside is the leader. Sylvanesian just at this stage by a head or so to Tyrone Bridge, a length and a half then to Lafcadio, who's tucked away on the inside of Red Stella as they stride down the side of the course. And they're a couple of lengths in advance of the others as they make their way now past the 1.5 miles. Nibs Pointed is running 4th, and last of all is Landowner as Sylvanesian shows the way. Sylvanesian by half a length to Tyrone Bridge the outside, 1.5 to Nibs Point, getting a bit closer on the outside of Lafcadio. 2 lengths to Further Flight, who's nicely settled 3rd last, followed then by Red Stella, and last of all is Landowner, who must be 7 or 8 lengths off the pace as they head down towards the 1.25 miles. It's still Sylvanesian bowling along by half a length to Tyrone Bridge. 2 lengths away, Nibs Point travelling on the outside of Lafcadio. 2 lengths further back is Further Flight, a similar distance to Red Stella, who's on the inside there of Landowner, who's 8 lengths off the pace. A pretty generous one too as they head past the 9 furlong marker. Sylvanesian by 3 parts or so to Tyrone Bridge, who's very handy. A length and a half then to Lafcadio on the inside. Half a length then to Nibs Point. A length away Further Flight, followed by Red Stella, and last of all is Landowner as they leave the mile behind them and run towards the 7. Sylvanesian still the leader by half a length to Tyrone Bridge, getting a bit closer to the outside now. They're 2 or 3 lengths to Nibs Point on the outside now of Lafcadio. 2 lengths away is Further Flight, followed then by Red Stella, and still Landowner whips them in about 7 lengths off the pace as they head down towards the 6 furlong marker. Sylvanesian on the inside just from Tyrone Bridge, only a neck in it at this stage. There are a couple of lengths to Nibs Point in in the light colours with the chocolate spots. Looming up is the grey. Further flight now to come into the picture. Lafcatio's dropped back through the field with the yellow blinkers, and now going into fifth as Landowner. They've left Red Stella behind. They're homeward bound in the Lonsdale Stakes, and Sylvanesian on the inside is being tackled by Tyrone Bridge. Nibs Point going well behind them with a half mile to travel. Further flight seems to be going very comfortably fourth, followed then by Landowner as they straighten up now, and they've kicked right away from Red Stella and Lafcatio. Coming up inside the three, goes for home on Tyrone Bridge, tackles Sylvanesian. Nibs Point on the outside, further fight in behind them is starting to loom up now from Landowner. They've kicked away from Red Stella, 5 in line with 2 furlongs to race. That's Tyrone Bridge, grabbed immediately by Further Flight, who lengthens in magnificent style. He races away from Tyrone Bridge, then follows Nibs Point, and on the outside Landowner, but Further Flight inside the final furlong. He's about 3 or 4 in front of Landowner. A great little stay up.
Further Flight, written by Michael Hills. 2 is Parting Moment, Ray Cochrane. 3, Arcadian Heights, Muzzled, Walter Swinburne. 4, Tyrone Bridge, Lester Piggott. 5, Duke of Paducah, John Reed. 6, Le Corsair, wearing a distinguishing sash in Sheikh Mohammed's colours, Frankie Dettori. 7, Lucia Roverti, Michael Roberts. 8, Witness Box, carrying the first colours of Sheikh Mohammed, written by Steve Cawthon. 9 is Tetradonna, the only filly, written by Paul Edery, deputising for Brother Pat. And 10 is Landowner, carrying the second colours of Sheikh Mohammed, a white cap that is, and written by Willie Carson. And finally number 11, the challenger from Germany, El Cirimo, written by 31-year-old Englishman who's been riding out there for some time and with great success, Mark Rimmer.
And the market had difficulty making up its mind about what was to be favoured, but it has settled down now, and Arcadian Heights has gone to 4-1 and favoured. Luca Roverti is 9-2, and the other co-favourite, Landowner, or joint favourite, Landowner was 9-2, is now 5-1. Witness Box 5-1 also. Further Flight 7-1. Tyrone Bridge has gone right out from 8 to 10-1, and 12-1 Le Corsair. Duke of Paducah 16-1. Gap then to Tetradonna 25 from 33-1. Parting Moment 33-1. El Cirimo, same price, 33-1.
That's it. And they're running. Tetradonna, one of the first to show, the only filly. Tetradonna going on from Witness Box. Then Tyrone Bridge right up there. El Cirimo for Germany over on the far side, making quite a forward run now with Tyrone Bridge, Parting Moment on the inner. Then comes Duke of Paducah. The back marker at the moment is last year's winner, Further Flight. Le Corsair's just one in front of him. Arcadian Heights in front of him. And Tetradonna, the leader, from Parting Moment in second, and then Witness Box. El Cirimo's dropped back quite a bit now, as heading the next is Tyrone Bridge with Lucia Roverti, and then El Cirimo. Then comes Landowner, with on the inside of Landowner Duke of Paducah. Behind Duke of Paducah, Arcadian Heights. Then Further Flight on the inside, who made quite a bit of ground round the turn there. But Tetradonna, the filly, is still the leader from Parting Moment in second. Then comes Witness Box. Quite a little gap then to Leicester on Tyrone Bridge in fourth, with on his outside Lucia Roverti. Behind Lucia Roverti's Duke of Paducah, and then El Cirimo for Germany. And Arcadian Heights now one of the back markers, and still the filly Tetradonna, the leader from Parting Moment, and then Witness Box. Lucia Roverti's now gone fourth, just ahead of Tyrone Bridge. Then comes Duke of Paducah. Behind Duke of Paducah is Le Corsair, then El Cirimo on the inside. Further Flight still one of the back markers. And towards the right of the picture, as we see them now, Tetradonna with the sheepskin noseband of Parting Moment just in behind. Witness Box a very close third. Then comes Lookcourt, then comes Landowner, who's moved into fourth now under Willie Carson, being pushed along there, scrubbed along by Leicester is Taran Bridge. He's got on his outside Lucia Roverti. Just in behind them come Le Corsair. Further Flight's making quite good progress now towards the outside, but Tetradonna still the leader from Witness Box. Tetradonna, Witness Box, and then Parting Moment, and then Landowner, and then comes Lucia Roverti running well towards the right of the picture, being chased by Duca Baduca. Tetradonna still, Witness Box, Landowner, and Willie Carson. In third is Lucia Roverti. Losing ground is Parting Moment. Making ground now is Le Corsair. And Witness Box has gone to the front, but Landowner threatening him. It's Witness Box and Landowner. Witness Box to the left under Steve Cawthon. Landowner to the right under Willie Carson. Lucia Roverti coming there strongly still under Michael Roberts. Witness Box to the left, in the centre Landowner, on the right Lucia Roverti coming down to the furlong pole in the 92 Goodwood Cup, and Witness Box being taken, or is he, by Landowner, these two, and here comes Further Flight producing a tremendous run now. Witness Box on the far side, Further Flight on the near side. It's Further Flight and Witness Box as they come to the line. Further Flight and Witness Box in a photo. It's a desperately close one. Landowner is third and Arcadian Heights was 4. It's a desperately close photo between last year's winner, Further Flight, on this side, and Witness Box on the far side. Further Flight bidding to become the first to win the Goodwood Cup in successive years since back in the years of Le Mans. Has he got up in the dying strides to beat Witness Box? It's close.
First number 1, Further Flight, 7-1. Second number 8, Witness Box, 5-1. And third number 10, Landowner, also 5-1.
And Witness Box never been headed, still has it by a half to Old Labelle, and then behind these on the fences Mulhouse. Further Flights out wide, and Hieroglyphics now back on terms in last place, but still 5 lengths off the leader. And they've now got 2.5 furlongs left, and Witness Box leads. Old Labelle now comes under pressure. Further Flights cruising through on the outside. Mulhouse under a strong ride. Hieroglyphic can't go with these front 4. They got 1.5 left. And Further Flight, Michael Hill's looking very confident here, but Witness Box is stretching a little bit extra here. He's finding more at the furlong mark. It's a match between these two. Witness Box the far side. Further Flight's now under a strong rider. Try and pick this one up as they race inside the final half. Witness Box the far side. Further Flight the near side, drive to the wire. Little to choose between the two. Further Flight's just got it on the nod. Further Flight, Witness Box, that's very close. And they finish clear from Hieroglyphic. Then comes Old Labelle, and the back marker was Mulhouse. A very tight photo.
And it's still Supreme Choice the leader from Hawait Al Bar, Further Flight and Shambo. Racing now towards the 3/4 of a mile marker, and as they do so, it's still Supreme Choice the leader from Hawait Al Bar. Further Flight back in third, Shambo. So the order unchanged, and the starting price is 6-4 on Further Flight, 3-1 Shambo, Hawait Al Bar 7-1, Supreme Choice 9-1, and it's still the outsider Supreme Choice with the advantage as they race now towards the 5 furlong marker. And so the orders, they come up to this point, is Supreme Choice has made it all so far, being followed then by Hawait Al Bar, and then comes Further Flight, and finally Shambo. That's the order. They're all yours, Rawley.
Thank you, John. Yes, just over half a mile to run in the Group 3 Jockey Club Cup, and it's still the outsider, Supreme Choice. Further Flight, stable companion, making it from Hawait Al Bar, the only filly, going well in second. And then comes the favourite, Further Flight, who was the 7-4 favourite when winning this Group 3 last year. Shambo, the second favourite, beginning to close up on the outside and going past Hawait Al Bar. But it's the 2 stable companions, Supreme Choice, second last year, and then Further Flight, the winner last year. And these two are going some 4 or 5 lengths ahead now of Shambo, conceding weight to his 3 opponents. He was third last year, and Further Flight now comes up on the outside to go on for the first time. So it's Further Flight, asked to quicken now by Michael Hills, doing so and readily coming home ahead of his stablemate Supreme Choice. Shambo is well beaten in third. Hawait Al Bar tailed off last, up to the line, and it's Further Flight who lands his second Jockey Club Cup. It's a double on the day for Barry Hills. Stablemate Supreme Choice second, Shambo is third, and still to finish, just coming up towards the line now, the only other runner there she is, Hawait Al Bar. So the outcome of a rather bloodless Jockey Club Cup. It's a win for the second year running for number 2, Further Flight, owned by Mr. Simon. Last 2 now are not in doubt, and finally the outsider Post Impressionist. With 5 furlongs to run, they make their way towards the home turn, and Sylvanesian is now being caught by Alligan. Witness Box still travelling strongly. After those, Further Flight and Arcadian Heights, and they're now into the straight, and Sylvanesian has weakened away very quickly indeed, and as they pass the 4 pole, it's Alligan in front, Alligan from on the outside, Witness Box, these two being hunted up by Further Flight. After them, Silverdale and Arcadian Heights. They're well in front now, not in doubt. They're inside the last 3 furlongs. The back markers post impression is Sylvanesian, who made the early running, and the Irishman strong case. But down inside the final quarter they come now, and it's Further Flight who's quickly come through to take it up. Further Flight has gone into the lead, trying to win this race for the 2nd year running, looking like doing so. Further Flight pulling away. Silverdale now is the danger on the outside in 2nd place. Further Flight from Silverdale, and then finishing strongly over on the inside, Alligan. But running up towards the light, Further Flight under the strongest of pressures is going to get there. Further Flight it is who lands this race for the 2nd year running. Silverdale is 2nd, in 3rd place Alligan, and in 4th Witness Box. Arcadian Heights, they're well in front.
Further Flight is now coming into 3rd place, and these 3 have now kicked up the pace, and they've left the other 3 for dead. They've got 2.5 furlongs left to race, and Ed Bason and Zanard, little to choose between the 2. Ed Bason towards the outside from Zanard, who's on the inner and coming to take a line of 3 on the far side. It's Further Flight. There's a big break then, about 20 lengths back to anything else inside the 2 furlong marker. Zanard in the centre, Further Flight towards the far side. Ed Bason's got no extra in behind them as they race inside the final furlong, and Further Flight's now asked to go away by Michael Hills. He's under pressure but got a 3-length break to Zanard. Ed Bason's fighting back, may regain 2nd in the closing stages, but Further Flight's going to win his 3rd Jockey Club Cup here by 3 to 4 lengths to Ed Bason and Zanard. A good battle for 2nd, but Further Flight's easing down close. Holmes won it quite comfortably in the end. It'll go to a photo of a 2nd, but Ed Bason looks to have got 2nd from Zanard.
No move yet from Further Flight. Now they swing right-handed. It's their only turn in this 2-miler and begin to face up to the heath. Carouge the leader, perhaps just extending the advantage over Tethys in that noseband in 2nd. Also in a noseband is Shirley's Delight on the outside there, just behind Capias, who's racing keenly, and Further Flight still last of the 5. They race towards the final mile now and the halfway stage, and it's Carouge doing the donkey work and lobbing along happily in that lead from Tethys in 2nd. Capias still tucked away out of the breeze under Frankie Dettori from Shirley's Delight, and then Further Flight last of the 5. They enter the final 7 furlongs now, and Carouge by just a half length. Tethys beginning to snap at its heels, and then Shirley's Delight goes 3rd just towards the outside of Capias, and last of the 5 there still Further Flight, but he's still travelling well, the old boy, as we head back to the grandstand with Carouge leading. Here's Rawley.
Yes, we're there now into the final 3/4 of a mile. The prizes you'll get after this race: Further Flight sent off as the 11 to 8 favourite, Capias 11 to 4, Shirley's Delight well supported 7 to 2, Tethys late money 8 to 1, and Carouge, the outsider at 9, was made most but has now been headed by Tethys. So Tethys produced by Jimmy Fortune to go on, but Carouge hanging on well, only about a length and a half behind. And then Shirley's Delight for Ireland getting closer, so too Capias for the connections of Cambridgeshire winner Halling. Still last is Further Flight, seeking this unique 4th British pattern race win, but he always comes late in the race, and here he comes now on the outside. Already the cheers go up from the crowd. You may hear them, I certainly can, as the runners come now past the bushes, and here he comes in a matter of strides from last to first. Further Flight with his old friend Michael Hills. Down the dip they come, just over a furlong and a half to run. Further Flight being ridden out, but he's gone 3 or 4 lengths or more clear of Capias under pressure, so too Tethys, and then Shirley's Delight well beat, as is the early leader Carouge. It's all Further Flight now. The hats go up in the air here at Newmarket for Further Flight, the favourite, who comes home to land his 4th Jockey Club Cup by a very wide margin indeed. Great day for their connection. Simon Whitfield Digby then made 2nd place Capias, 3 Tethys, 4 Shirley's Delight, 5th and last is Carouge.
First number 1, Further Flight, the 11 to 8 favourite. 2nd number 4, Capias, 11 to 4, and 3rd number 5.
Dano Star is swinging towards the outside Old Ravel runs the rail, gone the shortest way all the way. A length back after this to tip the Dover. Charity Crusader begins to improve now and moves up to fourth. Apple Flight just caught, further flight I should say, just caught for Lato on the inside, wide out towards the outside. Silencing Court begins to open up. They got 3.5 left to travel then, and it's still Ladder Harb on the inside rail just with the advantage, but coming there very strongly in the centre, Dado Star. With this one also out towards the outside and making good progress is Charity Crusade. Then behind these comes Silencing Court. Racing down now towards the final quarter mile, Dado Star, Charity Crusader just comes to the front now and goes on by a length or so. Charity Crusader from Silencing Court in the centre. Here comes Further Flight being asked for a run in the centre of the track. Behind these is Dado Star and Ladder Harb. 5 in a line as they pass the furlong marker, but it's the one on the outside, Further Flight, who comes to take it up now inside the final half furlong, and it's Further Flight who goes clear now as they race towards the line. And it's Further Flight who's going to take it. It's going to be close for second. Further Flight close for second, but it's Old Ravel and Silencing Court with back in fourth Charity Crusader. Inside rail just with the advantage, but coming there very strongly in the centre, Dado Star. With this one also out towards the outside and making good progress is Charity Crusade. Then behind these comes Silencing Court. Racing down now towards the final quarter mile, Dado Star, Charity Crusader just comes to the front now and goes on by a length or so. Charity Crusader from Silencing Court in the centre. Here comes Further Flight being asked for a run in the centre of the track. Behind these is Dado Star and Ladder Harb. 5 in a line as they pass the furlong marker, but it's the one on the outside, Further Flight, who comes to take it up now inside the final half furlong, and it's Further Flight who goes clear now as they race towards the line. And it's Further Flight who's going to take it. It's going to be close for second. Further Flight close for second, but it's Old Ravel and Silencing Court with back in fourth Charity Crusader.
Darker of the two greys. Here's the colour change, now green with yellow seams. Cypress Avenue, the third favourite. And finally the old boy of the party, Further Flight, who's going to go a favourite, and they're set.
They're under starters' orders and they're off.
And College Don just missed the kick as they broke away in this Bob's Return Cup over the extended 1 3/4. And Lord Jim is one of the first ones to go on, although George Duffield, the jockey, is looking round to see if anybody else is prepared to take up the pace, and the pace is a crawl in the early stages. Jay on the inside in second, then up on the outside comes Castle Courageous, pulling quite hard for his head in third. Tracking the leading trio on the rail, then comes Further Flight, who's racing in four, with out wide of these College Don. Towards the rear, Cypress Avenue and Michelozzo as they make the run now towards the final 1.5 miles, and Lord Jim is out in front. Lord Jim to in second place College Don, who moves upon the outside. Jay through on the inside in third, followed then by Castle Courageous and Further Flight anchored on the rail under Michael Hills, and still the last two are Michelozzo on the outside of Cypress Avenue in that colour change of green with yellow seams. Swing the turn now at the top of Rose Hill, and the leader is College Don. College Don has gone on under David McCabe, leads by a length and a half. Lord Jim in second, Jay third towards the outside. Then a line of three. Further Flight on the inside of Castle Courageous. Now deep on the course comes Michelozzo, and the back marker is Cypress Avenue as they begin the descent towards the final 1 furlong, and they still haven't really begun to race in earnest here in this Bob's Return Cup, and the leader is College Don. But all changed now as Michelozzo makes ground round the outside. Lord Jim back in third, then on the inside comes Further Flight, who takes a healthy tug. On the outside, Castle Courageous, Jay, who's just hanging the latch a bit, and then the back marker is Cypress Avenue, and they begin to race past the final mile point, and a very tightly grouped field here. Michelozzo pulls hard for his head up on the outside, but College Don still by about 3 parts of a length. Lord Jim in second, Michelozzo wide in third. Now they begin to quicken up, but only just. Further Flight on the inside, the 13-8 favourite, then back in fourth with Jay on the outside, then Castle Courageous 11-4. The second favourite makes ground the outside, and the third favourite 7-2. Cypress Avenue is the back marker of a tightly bunched field, making the turn towards the 6th pole, and College Don still leads them, but they're all poised to pound here on the outside. Lord Jim just taken a little bit wide, wider still Michelozzo the outsider. Sticking to the rail is Further Flight the grey. On the outside then the red cap of Castle Courageous, who's getting closer. Then after these comes Jay, and still the back marker is Cypress Avenue. Take your pick here, a wide open contest, and College Don on the inside comes to the 4 pole with a half-length lead over Lord Jim in second. He's poised back in third on Further Flight, going well. Then up on the outside Castle Courageous pushed long, so too is Jay. On the inside Cypress Avenue's getting close close to the whips upon Miraswaki's beat. Inside the 3 and Lord Jim commits for home. George Duffield goes on. College Don in second. Upon the outside, Further Flight begins to reel them in. After these, Cypress Avenue, then comes Jehu staying on. Castle Courageous, Forget Miraswaki. Inside the final furlong and a half, Lord Jim on the far side, but here comes the Great Grey. It's Further Flight on the outside. Inside the final furlong and a half, and Further Flight comes to grab Lord Jim on the inside. Staying on in third is Cypress Avenue. Inside the half furlong, already the cheers are ringing out. Here's win number 20 of his brilliant career. Further Flight is going to take it up towards the line. Further Flight has won it. In second was Lord Jim. Cypress Avenue in third, and a break to 4, College Don. Outside, Castle Courageous pushed long, so too is Jay. On the inside, Cypress Avenue's getting close to the whips upon Miraswaki's beat. Inside the 3 and Lord Jim commits for home. George Duffield goes on. College Don in second. Upon the outside, Further Flight begins to reel them in. After these, Cypress Avenue, then comes Jehu staying on. Castle Courageous, Forget Miraswaki. Inside the final furlong and a half, Lord Jim on the far side, but here comes the Great Grey. It's Further Flight on the outside. Inside the final furlong and a half, and Further Flight comes to grab Lord Jim on the inside. Staying on in third is Cypress Avenue. Inside the half furlong, already the cheers are ringing out. Here's win number 20 of his brilliant career. Further Flight is going to take it up towards the line. Further Flight has won it. In second was Lord Jim. Cypress Avenue in third, and a break to 4, College Don.
They're under starters' orders and they're off.
With 2 miles in front of them for the Jockey Club Cup, they break away in the early stages. Keshin Skyer, What If We and Double Eclipse are the first 3 to show. Not a great pace by a length to Source of Lighter races in 4. Cufflink 5 on the outside of Old Rouvel showing in 6. At the back of the field, Assessor up on the outside of Further Flight. But this is not a great gallop, the early stages. And now Gary Carter on What If We goes through to lead by a length to, in second place, Double Eclipse. Keshin Skyer 3/4 of a length further back, showing in third place from Source of Light, who races a length away in 4. A gap of 2 lengths to Old Rouvel on the inside of Cufflink, together 5 and 6, and sat at the back of the party at the early stages, Further Flight on the inside of Assessor. Racing towards the end then of the first half mile or so and on towards the turn, and it is still What If We who leads them up and shows now by a good 2 lengths to Double Eclipse racing in second place. Keshin Sky's a further 2 lengths away or so, showing in third from Source of Light, 1 length further back in fourth. Then comes up on the outside Cufflink, racing in 5th position from on the rails. Old Rouvel showing in 6th. Up on the extreme outside, Assessor in the blue colours and the grey horse Further Flight. Still as usual, giving them a bit of a start as they now turn with 1.25 miles to go in the Jockey Club Cup. And What If We leads by 2 to Double Eclipse racing in second, a further 2 lengths to Keshin Skyer. Yellow colours showing in third as they race on towards the final 9 furlongs. What If We continues to show out in front by a couple of lengths. Favourite Double Eclipse follows him in second place, Keshin Skyer in third. Source of Light in 4 on the outside from Cufflink and Old Rouvel. Then Assessor is creeping closer right up on the outside of them. Still the back marker is Further Flight as they race on past the halfway stage. And continues to be What If We, who went into a couple of lengths lead after the first furlong or so. Leads from Double Eclipse in second place. Source of Light on the outside's a bit closer in third, and these now almost in line as Source of Light pokes his head in front on the outside. Then Assessor is now through into 5th on the outside of Keshin Skyer. Pale blue of Cufflink just being pushed along as the pace begins to quicken. Then comes Old Rouvel, and there's the grey Further Flight coming through on the outside as they head towards the final 6 furlongs. And Corey Nakatani and Source of Light have gone to the front and lead up by a couple of lengths. Double Eclipse in second, just being pushed along by Tyrone Williams. In third, the outside is Assessor, who's travelling nicely for Richard Hughes, and then Keshin Skyer. Further Flight has begun to get closer. They've got a half mile to go. Source of Light by about a length and a half to Double Eclipse in second place. Assessor shows in third. Further Flight is into 4th position and begins to make headway as they drive to the final 3 from Cufflink, back in 5th position. They're heading now towards the final 2.5 furlongs. It's Source of Light by a half length to Double Eclipse. A length and a half further back to Further Flight, who's through into third position. He begins his charge now. Then Assessor on the outside in 4. Cufflink is back in 5. With the Jockey Club Cup 2 furlongs to go. It is Double Eclipse the leader. Here's Further Flight on the outside of him now, and he takes the lead. Further Flight into the lead now from Double Eclipse. Cufflink back in third place. Assessor back in 4. And with a furlong to go, Further Flight is going to go into the record books now. He's a couple of lengths clear and won't be course. His great grey horse is now well clear from Assessor and Double Eclipse, and Further Flight wins his race again. The 5th year on the bounce. A great performance as Further Flight wins. It's going to be very tight for second place between Assessor and Double Eclipse, and then Cufflink and Old Rouvel.
What can we say about that, Barry? Well, as what Churchill said, it's his finest hour. And Michael?
Right. I don't know what to say. Just look at him. That's what a racehorse is meant to be like. Just in him. He wants to win.
And he knows exactly where to go.
Yeah, he does. I'll never meet another one like that.
Photograph, Mike. Come on. Photographs are being organised here because it is. Can do the picture next year? Pop in there, please, family. How many more years, Barry? Because I mean, he does seem to be nearly as good as ever.
Well, yeah, he's as good as ever, and probably no. But if he gets the right conditions, they win a good fast gallop there. Hopefully, he'll be back next year.
Have you ever had one that kept going as long as that?
Well, whoever gets a horse, or whoever's lucky enough to get a horse like this in a lifetime, you get horses like Desert Orchid and Arkles and things. You know, we've seen some great horses over the time, but I mean, there are. Peter Easterby had those horses, didn't he? I mean, they're things you dream about.
All in.
They're under starter's orders. They're off.
And early pace in the race is not forthcoming. And it's Charter and Assessor who share the work. Further Flight and Source of Light. So the order as they come up past us is that Assessor goes on. John Reed on this Italian St. Leger winner. Dual Group 1 winner in France, Assessor. And then we have Charter in the light blue colours. Good old Further Flight, a winner of 21 races, is in third. And Source of Light, a horse that's won first time up on 2 occasions, is fourth of the 4 at this stage as they make the turn towards the back straight. And Assessor has slipped the field. He's gone about 5-6 clear now of, in second place, Charter, then Further Flight and Source of Light. Level up down the back straight. Assessor bowling along in front. Winner of the Prix Cadran, Prix Royal Oak, is clear by about 5 to Charter, who runs in second. A length and a half back to Further Flight. Horse that's rewritten the rules at Newmarket, Further Flight. And the back marker is Source of Light, winner of the Bessborough a couple of seasons ago. So they come halfway, and it's Assessor. John Reed clear by about 3 lengths, 4 lengths to Charter in second, and then Further Flight, and then Source of Light. In Indian file as they continue down the back stretch. Assessor, Charter, Further Flight, Source of Light. So they've got just over under 3/4 of a mile to go now as they begin the turn out of the back straight. And Assessor bowling along in front. Charter's in second. Pick up prize money for just turning up. Source of Light in third. Source of Light in fourth. Further Flight in third. So they start the turn in. And Assessor still at the head of affairs. Charter in second. Further Flight in third. And then Source of Light. Here's going to be played for speed first. Ears pricked on the leader. This is Assessor. Round the bend he comes. Down the straight. Half a mile to go. Here comes Charter. Are we going to witness an upset here? Charter the outside of Assessor. Then the grey. Further Flight. Source of Light switched by David Harrison to the inside. They come down past the 3. Assessor, Charter, Further Flight, Source of Light. Only about 2 lengths between them. They've got just over 2 to go.
and it's Source of Light that's nipped through on the inside now, but the grey Further Flight doesn't know the meaning of defeat, and Further Flight has come to take it. They've got a furlong and a half to go, and Further Flight going on. Source of Light, Assessors being left behind, Charters out of it inside the final furlong. He won first time up last year. It's going to take this as well. It's Further Flight, win number 22. Assessors coming back at him, but Further Flight finds more. Further Flight it is. Further Flight from Assessor and Source of Light. The grey, Further Flight, Source of Light switched by David Harrison to the inside. They come down past the 3. Assessor, Charter, Further Flight, Source of Light. Only about 2 lengths between them. They've got just over 2 to go. And it's Source of Light that's nipped through on the inside now. But the grey Further Flight doesn't know the meaning of defeat. And Further Flight has come to take it. They've got a furlong and a half to go. And Further Flight going on. Source of Light. Assessors being left behind. Charters out of it inside the final furlong. He won first time up last year. It's going to take this as well. It's Further Flight, win number 22. Assessors coming back at him, but Further Flight finds more. Further Flight it is. Further Flight from Assessor and Source of Light.
Outside and getting closer towards the leaders. They continue down the far side of the track with Grey Shot a length to the good now from Rain Watch, and then on the outside Cutter. Behind these Taufan's Melody, and still Further Flight continuing to improve. They've got just about 3.5 furlongs left to go. Grey Shot being tackled on the outside now by Cutter. Behind these, Taufan's Melody and Further Flight is still improving, and Further Flight travelling very smoothly indeed right on the heels of the leaders. Here they come towards their final couple of furlongs. Cutter on the outside, Grey Shot towards the inner. Between horses comes Further Flight, Knit cruising. They race towards the turn now, with on the Cutter coming through just about to take it up now, but Further Flight on the outside. It's coming there all the time, and it's Further Flight being asked to quicken now as they pass the turn, and Further Flight comes through to take it up now on a Michael Hills. Further Flight going away from them now as they pass the furlong marker, and it's Further Flight going to make it 23 wins in his career, who races up towards the line now. He's going to take the Chester Radius Stakes very comfortably indeed. What a tremendous horse. Further Flight takes it from Cutter, Grey Shot, and staying on for 4th is Taufan's Melody.
Then we have Simmons in and Georgia Venture. Just under 3/4 of a mile to go now as they begin the turn out of the back straight. And the pace has been made throughout so far by Further Flight, and the old boy still shows the way. Sweetness herself, the outside of the faraway tree, going probably as well as any at this stage. Simmons in, just being niggled along a little bit, that Simmons in. But only a couple of lengths off the pace, and now getting much closer is Georgia Venture. Didn't race at 2. Come to the top of the home run then. He just shakes the reins at Sweetness herself. Tries to get her to go forward. Come down past the 4. And it's Further Flight. Simmons in coming stand side. The faraway tree, Georgia Venture. Sweetness herself. Tempo increasing. Come down to the 3. Further Flight, getting them all at it, you know, the old boy. Faraway tree, Georgia Ventures pushed to the outside. Simmons in is back in 4th place, and just going to get a reminder now. Old Further Flight, look at him stretch his head, come down past the 2, a length and a half of the good. Michael Hill shouting and screaming, but on the outside here comes Georgia Venture. The faraway tree, Simmons in, won't be winning. Sweetening herself is tailed off, and it's Further Flight. He's gone clear by 3 down to the final furlong. What a day for the old-timers here. And look at this, he makes all the running. A 12-year-old, but sprightly as ever, up towards the line. It's Further Flight going further and further clear. What an amazing old boy. Further Flight wins it. to Georgia Adventure, and the Faraway Tree third. Come down to the 3, further flight, getting them all at it, you know, the old boy. Faraway Tree, Georgia Ventures pushed to the outside. Simmons in is back in 4th place, and just going to get a reminder now. Old Further Flight, look at him stretch his head, come down past the 2, a length and a half of the good. Michael Hill shouting and screaming, but on the outside here comes Georgia Venture. The Faraway Tree, Simmons in, won't be winning. Sweetening herself is tailed off, and it's Further Flight. He's gone clear by 3 down to the final furlong. What a day for the old-timers here, and look at this, he makes all the running. A 12-year-old, but sprightly as ever, up towards the line. It's Further Flight going further and further clear. What an amazing old boy. Further Flight wins it to Georgia Adventure, and the Faraway Tree third.
But not quite so ancient hero. Further Flight, who has the longest set of honours in the current game, 22 victories in 59 races, almost $500,000 in prize money. At 11 years old, he's almost white now. It's a bit...
I have often told you stories about the way I lived a life of a drifter, waiting for the day when I take your hand and sing you songs. Maybe you would say, come lay with me and love me, and I would surely stay. But I feel I'm growing older, and the songs that I have sung echo in the distance like the sound of a wheel going round. I guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. Times have been a traveler, look for something new. In days of old, when nights were cold, I wandered without you. Those days I thought my eyes had seen you standing near. Though blindness is confusing, it shows that you're not here. Now I feel I'm growing older, and the songs that I have sung echo in the distance like the sound of a windmill going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. I can hear the sound of a windmill going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune.